Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends Gamerverse Captain America and Venom. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we're taking a look at another Marvel Legends Gamerverse, don't say Capcom 2-pack, this time with Captain America and Venom. Now this whole autumn program is a tribute to the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 game that came out in the early 2000s, but of course Hasbro can't use the Marvel vs. Capcom branding, so instead this whole autumn program is under their Gamerverse umbrella. But of course that's just for the box. You take these out of the packaging, they are absolutely fair game for your comic displays. Remember, you create the rules on your shelves. I for one am intrigued by this Captain America, but I know this blue Venom definitely has that 90s aesthetic. So here we have the packaging, Captain America Venom, Gamerverse logo up top. You get the side panels all pixelated. Then on the back you get the actual training room from the Marvel vs. Capcom game. And then we get a write-up that says, the patriotic super soldier Captain America faces off against Venom and his alien symbiote powers. Two A-tier characters for sure. This will be a popular 2-pack. Let's get it open. Here we have Captain America and Blue Venom out of the packaging with all of their accessories on the table. Now I've already went ahead and swapped out the Eddie Brock head sculpt just so we could take a look at Blue Venom in all of his glory, as that head sculpt is new. The Eddie Brock head we've seen before, the hands we've seen before. There's a lot of reuse on this guy. Captain America is new as he has the new upper torso with the butterfly joint, so it should give him a lot more range. He doesn't have that sculpted chainmail. And we also get this new shooting star effect that goes onto his shield. We get a very expressive screaming head as well. So I'm more intrigued by the Captain America here than Blue Venom, but I do appreciate that this definitely has that nostalgic 90s aesthetic. So as always, let's take a look at these individually one by one and compare them to their previous versions. And because I'm more interested in Captain America, sorry Blue Venom, move out the way and let's take a closer look at Cap. Starting with this very stern, serious facial expression, I genuinely think we have seen this before. I'm thinking it's the same as the 20th anniversary Captain America. I'll throw up a side by side. I definitely think the sculpt is the same, but maybe the deco is different as the blue is closer to the eyes on the 20th, but that's a very subtle detail. Otherwise, the expression is the same. So if I spin it all the way around here, you can sort of see the wings on the side of the head. His ears are popping through his mask, but otherwise, it is completely smooth all the way around, and its head is on a disc and hinge rather than a dumbbell, so you're going to be able to get him looking all the way down. You can get him looking all the way up, no problem at all, as well as you'll swivel side to side. But yeah, as a very serious Captain America, no complaints. Now I really like this expression as it's something brand new for our classic Captain America, an angry, screaming battle cry Captain America. You can see his teeth sculpted, his tongue is painted in there as well, really nicely done with the creases around the mouth. You can still see his blue eyes as well in between the mask with the A and then the wings on the side of the head as well. So it's just nice to have those options for Captain America, considering we have a few now, just to give us some different display and options. So now you have two expressions. You have your more neutral Captain America, or you can have your battle cry screaming Captain America. Back to the stern expression then as we take a closer look at this Cap. Now the biggest difference is of course the upper torso, as they have removed all of the sculpted chainmail and they have given us the addition of a butterfly joint, which is a welcomed addition for Captain America. You still get the sculpted star in white on the front and on the back, but the big difference is it is smooth with the butterfly joint. So if I sort of bend that here, it will go back a lot more than it will go forward, but of course that's an aesthetic choice as they don't want to break up the design as the front, but they don't mind on the back. It goes nice and tight to the star. So yeah, nice range, but it will go further back than forward. And if we bring in the previous version that has used this upper torso now a couple of times, you can see the sculpted chainmail there with no butterfly joint. So that is your biggest difference between the two. blue. Now, I've always appreciated the torso of Captain America as his stripes very nicely hide the ab crunch. So you still get a crunch forward a little bit and a crunch back a tiny bit. Not a massive range there. Now, I do think it is about time we got another upgrade for Captain America with the ball joint at the torso, as that blue portion of his uniform is the perfect cut for a ball joint at the torso, just like Venom. Maybe a ball joint at the waist with a crunch still, like Spider-Man figures. So I still think we are not quite there at the penultimate Captain America in our Marvel Legends line, but this is still a very nice addition. They've also removed the chainmail from the top of the arms, of course, pinless jointed arms, so bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, hindered a little bit by his thick pirate gloves. Now, I think the arms are new, of course, the upper torso's new, the gloves are the same. I think the upper portion of his thighs are new, as his legs will go pretty far forward, and then as you can see, a very nice, clean, double jointed knee, but it will get hindered by the new boots. These are a different design than the previous versions. You still got ankle pivot and rocker. So yeah, new boots on this Captain America. I think the legs are reused. Maybe the upper thigh bit is different, as the legs do have a little bit more range up there. The belt's similar. The torso and upper torso obviously have been tweaked. So yeah, very nice upgrade in comparisons than anything we have in the past. So yeah, this is definitely going to be an aesthetic choice. Do you prefer the chainmail, or do you prefer the sort of smooth, stylized look? In regards to accessories, I don't know if it's just me, but the comic figures always seem to get a smaller shield. Now, this shield is even smaller than the 20th anniversary one that had the electric or the ricochet effects on. So yeah, I do think our comic Captain America deserves a bigger shield, but I do like the design as always for the Captain America shield. I do wish they'd find a new way to do this sort of clip and peg system. I understand why they do it, because you can clip it to the wrist or you can plug it into the back. It's definitely the easiest way, but those clips snap over time and it definitely worries collectors. So if you can find a new way to do that, Hasbro, please do. But let's plug this into the back of Cap. So there's the hole, it plugs in, and then it creates that nice silhouette with his shield on his back. But you don't get any straps over the shoulders for this one, because of course that would hinder the butterfly joint that they have added. So yeah, you get the peg on the back, or let's try not to break this, you can clip it on to the wrist like so for the sort of traditional Captain America look. But something no shield has got is this translucent sort of shooting star effect. Now, I'll throw up a clip from the actual game, as this is taken directly from the Capcom game where Cap sort of charges at people with his shooting star effect. So this is a translucent blue sort of impact piece that will clip onto the shield. So maybe that is why they chose the smaller shield, so you can plug it in to this effect. So you sort of just force it in there and it sort of grips on either side, and now you have the translucentness shows the star in the middle still, of course, and now you can clip that back onto the shield. Now obviously get him in a better pose than this, but yeah, there you go. That is how that works. Charge! There you go. I thought that was a better look at how the shield effect sort of should look. And the screaming expression definitely adds to the actual pose as well with this effect piece. So yeah, I don't mind them trying something different, something we haven't got before. So yeah, I like the effect. And lastly, as you have seen, Cap will come with a pair of fisted hands. And also, double thumbs up. Captain America approves twice. Or maybe he doesn't approve. Maybe they're two thumbs down. Boo! And in regards to Captain America comparisons, here we have the last 4 Marvel Legend releases. You've got the Alex Ross inspired 80th anniversary Cap in the darker blue. Then you've got the 20th anniversary of Marvel Legends Captain America. Then you've got the Secret Wars. And then today we have the Gamerverse version, aka Don't Say Capcom. But like I said, take it out the packaging. It is absolutely fair game for a comic display. Every single one of these figures is actually a really nice representation of Captain America for a Marvel Legends collection, but they all have some slight tweaks and changes. Obviously these two are very similar, but you've got the lighter blue against the dark, and then they made it pinless, again a different shade of blue as well for your Secret Wars, and then again a different shade of blue, completely pinless without the additional sculpt work with the butterfly joint. So again, it is pick your preference. I actually like the dark blue, but I would appreciate a pinless version with the butterfly joints and the chainmail if that's a way. As like I've said as well, I still think we could get a ball joint at the top of the torso as well. But they've inverted the colours of the red and white stripes on the Secret Wars. You can see that's got the white in the middle rather than the red. The other 3 have the red. These 3 have the same boots and legs. This one has new boots, gloves are the same. I think the belts are very similar. So there isn't going to be too much head swapping potential because every single blue is a slightly different shade. The closest two are probably the 20th anniversary and then the Gamerverse version today. But again, the blues are still not bang on, but I will try that unmasked head. And for those curious, the unmasked Steve Rogers head sculpt that came with the 20th anniversary Captain America does just plug onto this body, no issues at all, and it actually looks really nice. I've even put the sort of downward cowl piece on there as well that came with the 20th cap. Now the blues are slightly different, but because it's a separate piece and it's a downward cowl, it doesn't actually look bad at all if you wanted to use that additional piece. So yeah, again, just further display options. If you have an unmasked Captain America head, it will plug onto this body. And back to our 4 Captain Americas, but I'll spin them around just so we can have a look at the shields. Of course, all of the shields have the clip and pin system, so you can alternate the shields and put them on the different versions of cap. I think they are all different in design and size, to be fair, but for example, if you wanted this new Gamerverse version to actually be your Secret Wars version, then yes, of course he will hold the broken shield. And although I said all of the blues are different, the closest are definitely the 20th anniversary and this new Gamerverse version. So let's say you preferred the chainmail, but you actually like this Battle Cry Captain America head. Well, I actually think you can make it work, as the head swap doesn't look too bad at all. Now, as I said, the blues are not a perfect match, but they're pretty close. And with that chainmail design, with the sculpt breaking at the neck there, I actually think you can get away with it. But let's say you wanted a smiling Captain America on this new body, then unfortunately the Secret War head doesn't really work, as the blue tone is a little bit too different for my liking. So in case you were curious, that's how it looks, but the blues definitely don't match. And I'm sure there's definitely a few more Captain Americas out there. But for now, here we have the ultimate Captain America, and then also the old Onslaught Build-A-Figure Wave Captain America that actually had the werewolf head sculpt, so you could make a Cap Wolf. So that is definitely the only way to get a Cap Wolf in your current collection. Curiosity got the better of me, and yes, this Cap Wolf head will actually plug onto this new body as well. Next up, Blue Venom. Now, whether or not you played Marvel vs. Capcom, this Blue Venom may have a sense of familiarity, as during the 90s, they used Blue Venom on like t-shirts and other forms of merchandise, so it definitely has that sort of 90s era about him. But the Marvel Legend itself is just a repaint of previous Venoms. Here we have the 80th anniversary Venom that came on the retro card last year, and that itself was a redo of the Venom we got on that Amazon free pack. So this new Venom is sort of a repaint of that body with updated arms and a new head sculpt. Essentially, that's what we get here. So if you have these two, you know what you're getting yourself in for, but you just now get him in blue. So I'll show you the differences, but let's start with that head sculpt. I always like it when Venom has like green on his tongue. That's definitely my mind's eye of Venom. And this one has the green goo sort of on his tongue, and his tongue is sort of sticking out of his mouth like so. And that's quite a sturdy plastic as well, so that's not going to lose its shape over time. Then you get his wide, long jaw with the teeth, and then his gums all painted. So yeah, I really like the head on this one. Also, the eye sort of design is a bit sort of trailing off a little bit as well. So the head sculpt is unique for this particular Venom. Of course, it's in the blue. Very familiar, but yeah, the head sculpt for this Venom is new. It hasn't been used before, but it looks like something we've seen in the past. But I promise you, the tongue shape and sculpt is different for Venom. As we know on this body, it's on the disc and hinge, so we can look all the way up, and you can bury the chin as well as your swivel. You get a tiny bit of tilt, but nothing crazy. But yeah, there you have your unique blue Venom head. But of course, we do get another head, which is our partly transformed Eddie Brock head sculpt, getting engulfed by Venom. So there you go. On that side, you get Eddie Brock, and on that side, you get Venom, and then there you get the nice hybrid in the middle. Now, I don't think there's any reference to the game here with this head sculpt. It is just something they had in the Marvel Legends library. They had the opportunity to repaint it in blue and give it you again. Now, it looks very similar to what we got on the Amazon exclusive version, but when I throw them side by side, they actually look a tiny bit different. The black version looks like it's engulfing his face a little bit more. Now, that might just be a trick with the deco. I'm not quite sure. The teeth definitely are painted more on the black one. yeah, they're very similar. It's definitely the same sculpt. It's just a trick with a deco, surely. So back to Venom then. Like I said, it is the same that we have seen before. You get the butterfly joints on at the front, so they go forward and back like so, swiveled at the biceps, and then double jointed, pinless elbows. So that is your difference between any previous version. The previous version had the pins on the elbows. They also had the sort of tentacle sort of sculpted around the forearms and whatnot, where these arms are a lot smoother. You can see there's no tentacles wrapped around those forearms, where on the previous version you can see it had the pins and also the sculpted tentacle pieces sort of wrapped around the forearm. So yeah, your big difference between the two here, apart from the heads, is the updated arms. I always prefer the pinless aesthetic as we move into this new era of Marvel Legends, but when all the pins are in black, it's not that much of a difference. It's just sort of principle at this point, isn't it? So yeah, updated arms. The torso is exactly the same with the rocker at the top of the torso, sort of similar to how I think we should have got Captain America, and then you get the crunch down at the waist. So you utilize that all together and you can get some great range for Venom. He is a spider-centric character, so he should have some great range. The spider logo on the front is very similar to what we got in the previous version. It's actually just a little bit bigger. You can see it takes up more room on the chest. Also, the legs are a little bit more separated compared to the sort of thinner lines on this version. So yeah, very similar designs, but the one in blue is a little bit bigger. And then all the way down to the feet, it is exactly the same. So both of them have the pins in the legs. So they were so close to giving us a completely pinless Venom, but they did not update the legs. So that is definitely just a nitpick, that we still have the pins. Again, it's more a case of principle here at this point. Like, I know not everyone's bothered by pins, but again, as we're updating the aesthetic, it's frustrating when we get half and half. It's like, come on, just go that extra little push and give us the completely pinless version. But yeah, again, if you have any of those previous other Venoms, you know what to expect in regards to scale and articulation. But this one is in blue and it has the updated pinless arms without that additional sort of tentacles sculpted on there. I also want to show you the spider emblems on the back of these Venoms, as they are different, and I do think there's a nice improvement on the blue version. Now on the black version, you can see it's quite a big spider logo, and the actual white legs go across the butterfly joint. So when you start moving the butterfly joint, they get lost. So all they had to do was avoid the actual cut of articulation there with the spider instead of going through it, which is exactly what they've done on the blue Venom. So you can see now the spider legs have more of a curvature to them, so they are completely avoid the cut of the actual articulation. So now you can bend and move that butterfly joint and it does not affect the spider emblem at all, which just creates a more cleaner look in general. So yeah, there is a nice difference there on the back of these figures. Again, if I show you that, as I move that, you can see the white legs are dancing. So yeah, I appreciate that they sort of maneuvered them away. And then while we're here we have the pinless, the pinned legs, sorry. So you can still kick his back essentially. You still get a decent range in those legs. His legs still go pretty high up as well. Like, you can't be mad at that for a Venom ankle pivot and rocker. So yeah, just so close, not giving us pinless legs. And then we get two fisted hands for our Venom. And of course, we also get a set of those grabby clawed hands that are exactly the same as the ones we have on the previous Venoms. I like that Venom, but do you have it in blue? Yes, we have it in blue. There it is. So there we have all three of these Venoms built on that same sort of base body that we first got in that Amazon set. Of course, they all have their slight differences, as the Amazon one had the sort of tentacles sticking out of the arms there. I think the previous version didn't even have the butterfly joint, so we do have some other Venoms, but these are probably the best Marvel Legend Venoms on at the market. If you want it in blue, now you can get it. A quick look at some other Venoms. This is the one that came in a 2-pack with Norlet. That's built on the movie Venom body. Of course, I've took his wings off, but that's probably the tallest Venom we have until that new Gamerverse version, which I don't have, obviously. And then here we have the old school Venom that we've had a couple of times. I think we've had this Venom like 3 different times at this point, but I always quite liked the green tongue head expression that I have on this one. So let's bring back in Captain America, because I can't remember, I forgot the tape measure out, but let's do it right now. So Captain America America is just over 6.5 inches tall, where Venom is probably about 7.25 inches in height. So yeah, Venom, I think, is adequately scaled higher than Cap. And there's one more look at their closest comparison. So I've chose the 20th anniversary Captain America, as the blues are similar. Again, if you want to swap those heads, there's some potential there. And then of course, it's the same Venom, but in blue and not black, with a new head and new arms. Here we have the X-Men 97 Wolverine and Cyclops, because I actually think that the aesthetic of this Captain America could actually fit into that sort of animated X-Men 97 sort of display. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to move Blue Venom out of the way because you're not really involved in the conversation. And let me bring in Rogue. Now, spoiler alert, if you've seen X-Men 97, then she encounters Captain America, and she even holds her shield for a time. So I just wanted to see how they looked together, and I think Captain America looks seamless with them, to be honest. Remember, these are animated looks, but they have no cel shading. So this Captain America with that sort of softer aesthetic absolutely works with these Marvel Legends. So let me take his shield off him, if it will come off his back. Sorry, Wolverine. And let's give it to Rogue, because I've been waiting for this moment. I wanted to see how this looked. Now, I still think his shield is a little bit too small, but there we have our X-Men 97 Rogue holding the Captain America shield, and everyone's fallen over for me. And I actually think that looks pretty good. Let's get a standing up. Let's get that balance just right. Come on now, don't embarrass me. We're live on YouTube. Well, we're not live. I can edit this, but I'm not going to. There we go. So they're all back on their feet again. Who else is animated that I can bring in? I've left a little gap down the end for Peter Parker. So, yeah, that's absolutely fair game. I think you can use this Captain America in an animated display, absolutely. But my table's all wonky, and these are not standing for shit. Let's move on. Continuing with comparisons, here we have the Maximum Series Spider-Man next to Venom, and then the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man next to Cap. And I think Cap should be a little bit taller, as I don't think Peter Parker and him are the same height. I could be wrong, but if I spin these around, maybe that gives you a better sense. Yeah, maybe that looks a little bit better there, as the Maximum is just a smidge leaner, so he doesn't look as intimidating next to Cap. Here we have Black Widow and Iron Man. I believe that is the sort of more vibrant Secret Wars version, and again, we can spin these around, so you can see Captain America next to Black Widow and Iron Man next to Venom. Now, I've already sent back to Tom the new Wolverine, so apologies I don't have that for comparison, but I have some other Capcom-inspired figures with Cable and the brand new Psylocke, in case you were curious how they look with these new Marvel Legends. And again, we can spin these around and have Cable next to Cap and Psylocke next to Venom. Here we have the Gamerverse Thanos that came with Psylocke, and then I believe that is the Doctor Doom that was in the Super Skrull Build-A-Figure wave, the little bit darker with the plastic cape. Here we have the Maximum Series Hulk and the brand new Fantastic Four She-Hulk. And just to give people who don't have Dragon Man some serious FOMO, here we have him towering above both Cap and Venom. And there is a really famous scene where he is fighting Captain America and he's like chewing on his shield. So maybe I can steal Cap's shield and put it in his gob. And there you go, yeah, you can make that work. And let's wrap up with some of the Who crew. Here we have Frogman and Tigra. And of course, last but never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Gamerverse, don't say Capcom, Captain America and Venom 2-pack. Now, I really like it mainly due to the upgrades on Captain America. Now, I'm very self-aware they are some subtle upgrades. It is mainly just a more stylized look without the chainmail and the addition of the butterfly joints. I like his shield effect as well. Remember, that will only work on shields of the same size, of course. I also like his sort of battle cry expression, just to give us something different that we haven't got in the past before. But yeah, I like the blue tone as well for Captain America. So yeah, I like that that will fit on your comic or your animated shelf, because remember, ignore the Gamerverse tag as soon as you take these figures out of the packaging. They are fair game to go anywhere on your collection. The Blue Venom may be a harder sell on a comic shelf, however, as the Blue Venom is from that 90s era of games. I think he appeared in multiple games as a Blue Venom, but they could have gave us Venom in a multi-pack of a Skittles variant, as there's like a purple version of Venom, an orange version of Venom. So yeah, the subtle upgrades they've made with him as well, mainly on the arms, and the sort of adjustment of the actual deco on the back is very nice, but I wish they had went that extra mile and gave us the pinless legs. But Blue Venom isn't my mind's eye of Venom, so I'd rather them save that for an updated, completely pinless black Venom, which is inevitable, let's be honest. I still think that Cap could do with a ball joint at the upper torso as well, but again, these are great Marvel Legends, but they're not at the pinnacle just yet. But people are going to be very happy with these two A-tier Marvel Legend characters, undoubtedly. You let me know in the comments below, are you getting this 2-pack? What elements of this 2-pack do you like? What don't you like? Etc. Join the conversation. But if you like Marvel Legends, then you are in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlist, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit all in the notification bell, don't miss out on the video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on X at Dan Who Reviews, and I will of course see you on the next one.